I'm gonna Phoenix here because I want the Phoenix to tank for the Dark Prince, because then the Dark Prince will help the Phoenix egg respawn, right? So look, the Phoenix is gone, but the Dark Prince is tanking for the egg, so that was a very intentional decision. And the Phoenix respawns and takes his tower. That's a little trick for you. Add that one to your playbooks. What's up, gamers? It's Durkee here, and today we're going to be using one of the best and easiest decks in all of Clash Royale. After parsing through some of the best decks on Royal API, I stumbled across this beauty. Post balance changes, this is one of the strongest and easiest decks to use, even if you only have one evolution. And honestly, even if you don't have one evolution, this deck is still really strong. It plays like a typical beatdown deck. You just build up a giant push, and you have 3 spells to take care of their swarms, their tanks, and their buildings. So if you've never used this deck or any beatdown style of deck, do not worry, it is very, very easy. So we'll hop into some matches and I'll show you how to use it. Alright, in our first match here against this person. Part of the reasons I feel like beatdown decks are like, I don't know, they're definitely not the easiest deck to use in the game, but they feel kind of intuitive, right? It's kind of just like, alright, play defense, use your counter push, and go in. A lot of the times is the vibe. So, looks like we're here against maybe 2.6 or maybe Mortar, I'm not entirely sure. I do notice that my opponent is running Dagger Duchess. That's interesting. I don't see a ton of Dagger Duchess because it's probably not great. Looks like it is 2.6. I'm going to go like this, okay, and like kind of predict the Hog. So, this is something that is very unique to this deck and some other decks, is that you do not have a building. So the way that you need to defend some of these large pushes is defend with your troops and try and get a very, very nice counter push. So what we're going to do is we're going to eat that damage, because like I said, we don't have a building. It was kind of hard to defend. He had a nice counter push, and we're going to try and get some damage of our own. I will say this deck does rely a lot on the Evo deck, the Evo Zap, to help break through buildings, and to take care of, you know, some of their larger cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this, and hopefully just try and get that Phoenix onto the Musketeer, but he's protecting it very, very well, I must say. I'm going to zap here just in case he goes for like skeletons or something. And no, you can see here that Phoenix Egg is going to respawn. He's out of daggers. Oh, we got the log down in time. Well played, but we still took a significant chunk of his tower. So really, really good push. What did I do there? I didn't do anything. I just went in on the opposite lane. I think Prince in this situation is the best counter to a Hog, but you know, you can't super prevent a Hog from getting damage. And this deck, in its nature, is just you take damage and you give damage, and that's just the way that this deck goes. So you need to be okay sacking some damage and understand, like, it's fine. You're gonna get damage yourself, and you know the world's gonna go on, because in a 2-tower game, you're fine. Like, you do well in a 2-tower match. So we're gonna do this, and again, just let this cook. We're gonna have the rage ready for this. We're gonna drop a rage on it, and we don't hit everything with the rage, so that's a pretty fat disappointment, I'm not gonna lie. But it is what it is. Dark Prince ready. He's definitely gonna go in. I'm gonna use my Evo Zap on defense, contrary to popular belief. I want to mitigate the number of Hog hits here. I think you should only get 1 Hog hit, so that's fine. And now we need to set up once more for a very, very large push. Alright, I'm going to get the Prince down, actually. And I think I'm going to have to set up for like a tower trade scenario. This is perfect timing because a lot of those daggers have been used. We're going to do this. We're going to go into the Phoenix High, have our arrows and our rage ready. It's pretty nice that he does not have Evo Skeletons in hand. We're going to do this. He's going to play Skeletons or something. Anytime you see a defensive Hog, that's really, really good. Good arrows to take care of the Skeletons. And now he doesn't have Hog in cycle. I want to keep the pressure up, because if he goes in for a Hog Rider, I want to make sure he knows he's going to lose his tower. So, like I said, he can go in for the Hog Rider. We're going to do this. We're going to get this zap down. And how is he supposed to defend this? Spoiler alert, he can't. So, pretty good match against 2.6, honestly. Like, I'm happy with the way that the match turned out. I mean, a good 2.6 player can defend really, really well. But I think we applied pressures at a good time. You know what I mean? Like, we knew when to pressure, we knew when to defend. So, good W there. We'll catch you in the next match. Up here against Loris, and I will say, you know, that first match, that was kind of like a warm-up for me. 2.6 can be tricky. I mean, a good 2.6 player probably could have defended a lot of those pushes, but, you know, it is what it is. No deck is perfect. Okay, he cycles the Goblin Cage. I think I'm just going to leak just a little bit. I don't necessarily want to cycle anything into that. I'm going to drop a Phoenix now. Goblin Cage is interesting because it's a building and then it spawns a troop, so it's almost like they force you to play something into it. But I'm stoked that he doesn't have a building in cycle. So we're going to do this. No, I missed one of the archers. That's unfortunate, but I didn't really expect too much from this push anyway. Okay, interesting deck. I'm going to drop the Dark Prince here just to like sponge up some of the damage. And then we're going to Bomber to activate our King Tower. Like this should activate King Tower, I think. And then we're going to zap as well, just to make sure we don't take a ton of damage. So that was an interesting play. You can see I sacked a little bit of damage to get the king tower there. Was it worth it? Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to go like this with the Goblin Giant just to keep my berry alive. And then maybe rage, maybe arrows, depending on what he plays. Yeah, I think I'm going to rage this. The reason I think that is it's going to get a ton of damage. And yeah, he plays the archers late. So we actually took half of his tower there on just like kind of an impulsive counter push. So that's really good for us. So far, so good. I mean, we know his win condition. It's going to be Hoggies. We're going to predict it here. We actually have wonderful answers for the Royal Hogs. I mean, look at we have Bomber. We have Dark Prince. Like, it's amazing. I'm going to Phoenix here because I want the Phoenix to tank for the Dark Prince, because then the Dark Prince will help the Phoenix egg respawn, right? So look, the Phoenix is gone, but the Dark Prince is tanking for the egg. So that was a very intentional decision. And the Phoenix respawns and takes his tower. That's a little trick for you. Add that one to your playbooks. I put the Phoenix in front intentionally, so that way it would respawn. So really good play by us. Honestly, this game is probably over. Just like I said, we have a really good matchup. We can defend Hogs really easily. Didn't know that he had recruits, to be fair. That was kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Gonna bury here. And I'm gonna Phoenix onto the flying machine. Okay, well played for him, going for the Goblin Cage. I don't know if that was to block the Phoenix, but if it was, well played. Either way, well played. Okay, that comes down. Like I said, we have great answers for the pigs. He chooses to go in. Yep, there's the Dark Prince. I think I'm just going to rage this up. Like, I don't want to take too much damage here, like to the point where he could maybe pressure and take the tower. So, honestly, if he played his recruits, they would have gotten a lot of value in this matchup. I'm kind of surprised he was, like, slow to play his recruits, to be honest. We're going to get the berry ready here, and he's cycling back to the pigs. So we're going to get this down, zap, and just make sure that he doesn't take our tower. So GG's to that guy. Honestly, I think he should have played his recruits more. Our defense was fine. Really nice tower take with the Phoenix respawn. We'll catch you in the next match. I'm here against this player. Another reason I like this deck, you know, I play all decks. I play a bunch of different decks, at least for like the videos. And some decks are really easy to use. Some decks are hard to use. All decks are hard to master. But this deck, the learning curve for this deck, it's not that high. It's not that high. You can learn this deck pretty easily. Like I said, all decks take a while to master, but this deck can be taught relatively quickly. Good timing on the Prince there, just to make sure that we don't get cheesed. I'm going to be ready for like a Skarmy or something. Yeah, there it is. Good timing on the Rage, just to power up the Prince and probably sneak onto the tower, yeah. You always got to be ready. When you have the Prince, it just makes sense to have your Rage there ready to go. He might go in for a barrel here. We're going to see. I'm going to Phoenix high and just let it go. I mean, I already spent a lot there. Goes for the Golem. Interesting. I can't say that Golem Goblin Barrel was on my bingo card of decks, per se. But it is what it is today. Let's just do this. If he goes for the barrel, we have our Bomber, and we're not worried about it. He'll get some damage, but again, we're going to have a very, very nice counter push, so I'm not worried about it. Really, really weird deck. We're in a Classic Challenge. You know, I like to play a lot of my videos in Classic Challenges, so all the card levels are even. So yeah, sometimes you go against weird decks, and sometimes you just absolutely cook people. And that's what we did today. So it is. I mean, honestly, you need to be prepared, especially I understand a lot of people, you know, that run, you know, these decks. You're playing at mid ladder, or you're playing upper mid ladder, and people run kooky decks. It's important to be ready for those types of weird decks. You never know what you're going to face. Barry going to do a great job here of clutching out the match for us. So GG's to this guy. We'll take the easy 3 crown, and we'll catch you in the next match. Right up here against AMN. I feel like we've had a good array of matchups. I mean, 2.6, Golem Goblin Barrel, you know, just interesting. And another reason why I wanted to run this deck is because, you know, people sometimes ask, like, oh, like, what's a good deck for 1 evolution? And I think this would be a good 1 evolution deck. I mean, the Evo Goblin Giant's good, but it's not, like, crazy, you know? It's not game-breaking. Interesting barrel. I think the Dark Prince gets pulled back. No, he doesn't. Okay. And he logged. He spent a lot of elixir there, to be completely honest. I'm going to get the Goblin Giant in front because he spent the barrel. Like, he spent a lot of elixir there. So let's just get this down. Good rage. I mean, like, that wasn't super intentional, to be honest, but we'll take that. There we go. Nice damage onto the tower. So we see that he has the Evil Knight. That's important for us to be aware of. Kind of not sure what his deck is, to be completely honest. Prince like this, just to keep the XE off my tower. You can see I played it not perpendicular, like diagonal away from the XE so that it wouldn't lock onto the tower. I'm gonna zap this barrel, obviously. I'll just make sure it doesn't get damage on my tower. And that Prince, oh, Prince is so good sometimes, man. That always happens to me where I'm like, oh yeah, you know, Prince isn't gonna get a charge. It always gets a charge on the tower. It feels that way, doesn't it? And I feel like we're in a comfortable elixir lead. I think we're up like 1 or 2 elixir just because he spent a log and whatnot there. So I might go for the juke here. I'm not entirely sure. Like, yeah, see, because he goes for that. So I might just let this go. Because look at how much he spent assuming that I was going to go in, right? He assumed I was going to go in. We might just soak some damage here and call it a day. That's something that this deck does really well, right? Like, we might have just juked him there. He'll get some XE damage, right? But we're most likely going to get significantly more damage here. We're going to drop the Evo Zap. We're going to drop the Rage onto these Goblins as well. And, like, look at what we just did. That was, in my opinion, that was a successful juke, right? We totally juked him out. He played all of his defensive cards, and we ended up going in the opposite lane. So that's a little play you can do as well. If you see your opponent overcommit early, like if they overcommit their defense too early, right, you can kind of just hit them with the opposite lane juke. So I'm proud of that one. Prince is such an annoying card because anything he plays goes right into the Prince, right? Like, how annoying for him is that? Quite bomber, just in case he plays. Yeah, skeleton's great bomber, I would say. Okay, going for some NATO shenanigans. I respect it, honestly. Dark Prince, amazing answer for the barrel. We're not worried about that. Phoenix is going to clean up the XE. And guess what we have? A nice little counter push. Oh, I was kind of hoping the Phoenix would go down there. Unfortunately, it doesn't, but that's all good. We're going to drop a Rage onto everything. Executioner is our biggest op right now, but that's okay. We get the Phoenix respawn. We get the Goblin Giant on the tower. We have the Prince coming down, and my man is cooked. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's over. Come on. My man's laying there. Okay, yeah, there it is. Good game at this guy, but another easy dub for this deck. So we'll catch you in the next one. Up here against this person, they got the bush card in their banner. That's a card low-key that flew under the radar. They dropped the suspicious bush, and it's like, I didn't really see a lot of it. All right, I'm just going to zap on one side. I don't want to drop 6 elixir on defense. So I'm just going to let it go. Nice, good timing. He drops his recruits preemptively. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's really expensive, right? There's 7 elixir. We're going to get a +1 trade and then possibly a counter push. I'll do this all day long. And I'm going to Goblin Giant, try and get the Goblin Giant in front and just let this do its thing. Just let this do its thing. I'm going to rage this up because I need this to die. Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That is the intuition that this deck requires, right? Just go in. He was a little aggressive, just rage everything up, and we just took his entire tower in single elixir. That was our first push. Good recognition from me, though, in that situation to see how much elixir he spent, right? He just cycled the recruits, which is dangerous to do. You can't usually just get away with that, and punishing accordingly. We're inside a spell cycle range now, so I'm going to try and keep both towers, but at the very least, if I lose my tower, I need to be prepared to get, like, a trade, you know what I mean? Evo recruits can be tricky, especially, you know, I just lost my bomber, so we're gonna, I don't know, we might take some damage on this defense, I kind of expect to. Okay, we're going to do this. Unlucky zap placement by me, I feel like, but not the end of the world. Yeah. Phoenix Egg, probably not going to respawn. We're just going to rage here, keep it simple. Perfect, we take the tower without even having to try too much. Arrows, I think these connect still. Yeah, one of them connects. It is what it is, man. It's always so hard to defend spam. The good news is the lane that he's pushing into is the lane that I'm counter pushing, so hopefully if he does take the tower, we'll have like a very, very nice counter push. I think I want to save my arrows for the Dark Goblin. Like, typically that's the most value that I get. So I really want to cycle to my arrows. If I can. Yeah. He's pressuring well. I have to do this, unfortunately. Phoenix respawns. Nice, okay. Decent defense. I mean, it's always hard to defend spam decks, right? Like, they always seem to have answers for you, you know what I mean? They always seem to have pressure in hand. So I'm happy with that. I think I'm going to go for, like, a kite here. I know it looks weird. Yeah, okay, let's do this. I don't think this guy charges. Oh, he does. I think we're okay. Bomber comes down. Honestly, that guy played really well. He played really well. Did we play it perfectly? No, it's always hard to defend spam decks, but what matters is we took his tower and we parked the buzz, baby. Let's hold that W. We'll catch you in the next match. All right, up here against this player, Marco Aert. And I've been having fun with this deck so far. I mean, it feels like a good middle ground between like heavy beatdown golem decks and like a quick cycle deck. Like, it's refreshing. It's a nice deck to play. Feels very like middle of the road. I'm not playing too many cards, but I'm playing enough cards to keep me engaged. We'll see how he protects this, if he chooses to protect it or not. I might just cycle. Yeah, I was going to cycle that zap anyway, so that's fine. I think Phoenix wins this interaction. Okay, he spent a cannon card. I'm going to go in. He spent Mother Witch Bats and a cannon card, so like I'm happy to go in here. And I'll rage. I mean, just to like get more value out of this, to be honest. And then I don't know if I want to cycle my Prince. Nice, he used his Tornado. Dude, Dagger Duchess is... It's tough, man. I mean, that used to be the most broken tower troop, and now it just struggles. I think most of the time you shouldn't be running Dagger Duchess. I can barely think of any few decks that would want to run Dagger Duchess over like a Cannoneer or a Princess Tower. So anyways, fortunate for us that we're going up against a Dagger Duchess. You won't hear me complain about that. Okay. Interesting. Definitely a clone deck. Okay, cat's out of the bag. Yeah, the R-Sheep blows. Let's zap here. I see what he was trying to do there, to be honest. I don't think it's going to work out. You always got to be careful against the clone decks. They're sneaky. Like, because if you just, like, flub a defense once, you're in trouble. The good news is we have arrows, rage, and zap. And bomber, like, and dark prince. Like, we have so many things that defend with splash, which is kind of what you want against clones. So, from a matchup side of things, we're, like, super chilling. At least I think we're chilling. I'm going to go dark prince here. Barry isn't a tower threat right now, but I'm thinking of going in. Yeah, because he wants to go in here, right? So let's do this. And now he doesn't really want to go for the clone. Dark Prince doing a great job on defense. Okay, he chooses to go for the clone. That was unfortunate for me that got on my tower. Yeah, I did not want that. It's fine. We're going to go in here. Try and get solid defense down. Let's get this rage. Remember, he has Dagger Duchess, so no, daggers being low is huge. Nice. Great. We just need to watch out for one more clone push. Gotta time this rage or these arrows. I think we live. I'm not sure though, to be honest. Jeez Louise, man. Hanging in there, man. My man's playing a cheesy deck. He played it well, honestly. I mean, I absolutely give us the matchup there. So, honestly, the fact that it was that close, that's fine. Did we play it perfectly? No. Did we edge out a win? Yes. So, we'll catch you in the next match. All right, into likely our last match of the video against Tesla Slayer. We'll see how it goes. I'm having fun with this deck, but we've just been cooking. I feel like I've gotten the point across of the deck, but, you know, it's always fun to play more games. So we'll see how this game goes. I mean, if it's a close loss, I'll keep it in. If I win, I might play another one. We'll just see. We're having fun with this deck. I hope you're enjoying the content. If you've made it this far in the video, I cannot tell you how much that I just appreciate you. Just even watching, you know, like a growing YouTuber, a small YouTuber. It just means a lot. And if there's any feedback you have on the video, please share it with me. I'm always looking to improve and get better. So yeah, thank you. That's all. He did kind of like, he kind of spent, you know what I mean? The wizard, the knight. I'm going to do this. I'm going to arrows here and rage this up and kind of just like hope for the best. You know what I'm saying? And it was indeed hoping for the best, but that's fine. Helped us cycle, and we don't really need to spend anything. We get more intel on what he's running. It kind of looks like a golem deck, but I could be wrong. Yeah, Evo Knight, Cage, Mega Minion, kind of, and Bomber. Kind of feels like a golem deck. We'll see though. We do have pretty decent answers against Golem. I'm going to zap so I can get to my Evo 1. Because then when I have the Evo zap down, I can use it to take out the berry. And then I can save my arrows for something else. So that's kind of the idea. Okay, berry of his own. Might just let this go, honestly. I'm not... graveyard. Okay, again, you want to try and defend without using spells when possible. Just because that gives you the best counter push. Even if you do take a little bit of damage. Take a lot of bit of damage, unfortunately. But we do have double Prince down and Evo Zap. So we're going to do this. And then we're going to Rage. And absolute monster of a counter push. Beautiful, beautiful. Evo Knight's going to do a good job on defense. But honestly, him having to burn his Evo Knight and not use it with the graveyard push is outstanding for us. Okay, I'm fine with that series of interactions. We're going to cycle our Berry in the back. And get our Phoenix ready for his Mega Minion. Again, no Evo Knight. That was his best, you know, tank to go in with the graveyard. Okay. Goes for the poison. Yeah. Kind of makes sense. Goblin Giant here just to help defend all of this. And we're going to have a monster of a counter push, which is exactly what we want. I will do this here. I don't want to give him too much Evo Berry value. Okay. Let's do this. Let's Rage on everything. Beautiful. And that Wizard falling is the nail in the coffin for my boy. That's going to be tower down. Ain't no way he's defending this fatty of a counter push. And I'm going to keep my pedal on the gas, baby. Pedal is coming down. We don't want him to feel like he can go in for a graveyard. No, 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 no. We're going all gas, no brakes, baby. This is going to be a 3-crown. Let's go, baby. GG's to this graveyard player. I think we played it fine. Always relying on counter push. Try not to defend with spells. That's my tip for you. So we're going to hold that W. We'll hop into one more match. And into our last match of the video, hoping to make it a super easy dub. I've had a lot of fun with this deck, so I hope that you are encouraged to try it as well. Like I said, especially if you're like mid-ladder, upper mid-ladder, you only have one evolution, give this deck a try. It's fairly strong, pretty easy to use. Okay, he does that. I don't know, I guess I'll just cycle my Phoenix. Tombstone, like, immediately makes me think Lava Hound or Graveyard. I mean, those are the most common decks that I feel like I see run Tombstone. And it looks like it's going to be Lava Hound. This will be interesting. It'll be interesting because we don't have a ton of air answers, kind of just our Phoenix. So making sure that we keep our Phoenix in cycle feels like the utmost importance. Curious if he goes in here. Okay, he doesn't. Okay, he goes for the Zap. Usually they run Barbarians. Okay, he does the Valkyrie, so we're just going to go like this. So it looks like Valkyrie and Tombstone are his ground cards. Nice. So this is actually really great for me. He just cycled his Inferno Dragon. So what we can do is we can kite it over. Or Inferno Dragon, an immaculate answer to the Goblin Giant. So we're going to go like this. Right? Now he has to play Tombstone probably. And we can get a really, really nice Rage off onto everything. Nice. I want to get a Zap down too. And now he's in trouble. Rage Zap takes care of all of that. Nice. And he just cycled back to a Valkyrie. So decent push there. Not as much damage as I would have wanted. I feel like we almost had like a gotcha moment, but it didn't quite work out. Okay. So Valkyrie is not in hand. Inferno Dragon is though. So I might, against my better judgment, go with a Phoenix behind my next push. Just so that way we can take care of the Inferno Dragon, because the Inferno Dragon gets too much value against our deck. Okay, let's do it. And like I said, against my better judgment, we're going to go with the Phoenix, because we know he's going to go Inferno Dragon, right? Yep, I told you. We got to rage this up ASAP. Beautiful. Okay, we lived. We lived, and we got to keep the pressure up for the 3-crown, because I don't want him to feel as though he can kind of like spam me. Nice. I want him to have to defend, is really what I want. And I want to get back to another Phoenix. Let's Phoenix onto, hopefully, the balloon. No, we misclicked it, but that's okay. I think we can live here. Nice. Good defense, dude. Phoenix is such a good defensive card. Nice. And look at how much damage we got on the opposite lane. So really, really, really well played by us. I'm like stoked by that, to be honest. Let's do this. I mean, he just went in with that. So like I said, we're either going to defend or we're going to maybe get the 3-crown. What is he going to do? Is he going to defend or support his push? And it looks like he's going to kind of do neither, to be honest. Beautiful. We're going to maybe clutch up this 3-crown. What a great end to the video against a Lava Hound player. We'll hold that W. Catch you in the outro. And that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. Here's the deck one more time in case you want to take a screenshot. I'll also put the link to the deck in the YouTube description so you can just copy it and open it inside of Clash Royale. But give this deck a try. Beat down Triple Spell, Goblin Giant, Double Prince, all of the cards. It's such a good deck. It's really easy to use, and I promise you'll get lots of wins and have lots of fun. So thank you once more for watching, and I hope to see you in another video real soon. Peace.